Guys, thanks very much for that. Let's just welcome in Mr. Sundararaman, who's with us. Sir, good morning. Great to have you with us here. And thank you. You're joining us all the way from London. So appreciate it. So this is now finally settled. We have clarity in terms of which exchange has which day. You're, of course, moving from Tuesday to Thursday. I just wanted to start with, before we kind of ask you what the implications, etc. are, I just wanted to ask you, was this a consultative process in that sense? Because as we understand it, you asked for Thursday.
As you would, first of all, thank you for having me on your television. As you would recall, when the regulators decided the only one weekly expiry per exchange, an option was given to the exchanges to select their expiry days. NSE chose Thursday, and so therefore BSE at that point of time shifted it from Friday to Tuesday. When after that things were going okay, when NSE wanted to shift it to Monday and then wanted a unified expiry, consultation papers came and it was decided it should be either Tuesdays or Thursdays. Since NSE requested for Tuesday to the regulator, in the overall interest of the market, BSE decided to go with Thursday. Thursday is a good day, so we have gone with that.
No, that's fair enough. In the overall interest of the market, as you put it, I won't press that point too much, and we'll move on quickly. But just did you assess what could be, what would happen if you stuck to Tuesday, asked for Tuesday?
What is the need? If somebody wants something, it's okay. In the overall interest of the market, we can take Thursday. Thursday is not a bad choice. Thursday has a lot of advantages. Since you're harping on this, let us talk about this. BSE gained market share when its expiry day was Friday, which is not a very ideal day. What we should recall is, at that point of time, every day there was an expiry day. BSE didn't have an option but to go for Friday, and BSE gained all its initial market share only with Friday as an expiry day. As I was always telling, if you have everyday expiry day, every product becomes expiry day product. The purpose of a derivative contract is not to create lot many expiry day products, to give a longer time horizon between expiries so that people are able to use the product effectively.
Sure.
That is the reason why when an opportunity came and when options of Thursday was taken by NSE, we took Tuesday. And we were, and we will ever be happy with Tuesday as well. And if you look at the international scenario, be it US, be it Eurex, be it Korea, Taiwan, Kospi basically I'm talking about, Japan, many of them have their expiries on Thursdays or Fridays. So if you're thinking of relative value trading, Thursday becomes an ideal day. In India, the entire 100% market share was gained with Thursday as the expiry day. So Thursday is a very good day. So, but notwithstanding all that, if somebody wants Tuesday, what is the point in not giving it and taking a better day?
Okay. Point taken, Ms. Ramamurthy. Let's move on. So what are going to be the implications? I mean, again, this is all very near term. As you said, you've gained market share consistently before the November options regulations, etc., were announced. And actually, even after that, you continued to gain share in that sense. But with this change now, I'm looking at various analysts who track BSE as a stock. All are penciling in different degrees of loss in terms of options market share. Could you give us your assessment? What would it be?
There are multiple points to be considered in this. When every day was an expiry day as well, as you rightly pointed out and as I mentioned, BSE was gaining market share. So is it possible for anybody to take only one contributory factor to the volumes, even presuming Thursday will reduce market share? Even presuming, I don't presume it. Even presuming, is that okay for overall assessment? I don't know. Because there are growth factors, there are market related factors.
Mr. Ramamurthy, if you allow me to come in, let's just, so keeping everything else constant, if I can put it that way, I know it's an unfair question and other things will not be constant. And I think we understand that there are various levers, but for a moment, keeping other things constant with this change of day, could you give us a sense of what could be?
You can keep everything constant, but life doesn't work that way.
Of course it does not, but I'm just asking, theoretically.
And as far as Thursday is concerned, I think I very elaborately told you how Thursday is a better day. Because beware, the entire 100% market share in the market was gained with Thursday as the expiry day. And there is a very great advantage of relative value trading between economies, which is what is happening today because markets are becoming global. Thursday appears to be a better and ideal choice.
So, I mean, I would really appreciate a number, sir. You are about 24% share right now. Will you, once these things kick in from September, will you stay at 24? I'm looking, for example, at a Goldman note, which is saying that, you know, there should be a 3 percentage points hit to market share. Others are accounting for a little bit more. But what would you say, sir?
Multiple points. Has anybody, including you, have ever predicted that with all the analysis that you all have at your hands, that Sensex will grow this way? I don't think.
So
I don't think it is that easy to predict any market.
That's a nice throwback at us. But that's not the question, sir. You understand, right?
Permit me to reply.
Yes, please.
None of you predicted ever any of this, right? And secondly, I have clarified to you in your own studio multiple times that I don't run behind market share in derivatives.
Okay.
I am talking about deepening and broadening of markets. My effort to deepen and broaden markets will continue. We have targets in terms of how many brokers we should have, how many racks we should have, how many FPIs should be participating, what type of the premium quality should be there, how many products we should have. This is what we set as our KPIs and we work towards it. The purpose of derivatives should be served. Market share is a side outcome. Main outcome is economic value of a product.
Yeah. No, point taken. And by the way, nicely done, sir, if I may. But let me read out that one line, right? Which, there is that acknowledgement that there are other levers as well. I'm reading verbatim from an analyst note. It says, we now expect BSE to gain 0.5 percentage point share per month from September 2025 low to get back to the 24% share by March of 2026. So even those who are saying you will lose some share are saying, well, you will gain it back. It'll just maybe, it'll just take a little longer. That's all. So I think that understanding is very much there. But since you're not giving me a number, and I won't press on that point any longer. Could you give us a sense of, what actually your share was on, say, Tuesdays? What your share of volumes traded on Tuesday as opposed to Thursday?
See, it is not proper to compare it that way. I'll tell you the reason. Typically in India, on expiry days, the products trade more. And more so because we had introduced a culture in between of having an expiry day every day. We had one product expiring every day. So the products become expiry day products and they tend to trade more on the expiry day. When we introduced Friday as the expiry, we were having you wanted numbers, so please take it. 85% of the volumes were getting traded on the expiry day, which is exactly what we were very concerned. Then it becomes nothing but an expiry day product. The moment we interspersed with days, Tuesday volumes became 45% to 46%. The remaining started getting distributed. Certainly, therefore, Monday volumes will be slightly more. It used to be around 30%, 25%. The remaining got distributed amongst days. I was not able to see any nearness to expiry giving some extra advantage on the days of volumes. I hope I make it clear to you. So clearly, expiry and expiry minus one have always been high, even when it was Thursdays and Fridays for BSE. Friday volumes were exorbitantly high because of the unfortunate culture of everyday expiry. When that everyday expiry went away and it became Tuesday, naturally and necessarily the concentration from expiry day came down, notwithstanding still it will have huge value. Theta comes down heavily on expiry day. So there will be greater volumes. And expiry minus one because of people taking possession. But the concentrations were not as before. I feel interspersing of the days of expiry is what is more important. That continues to happen with Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Sure, sure. Actually, Mr. Ramamurthy, 2 points, right? I mean, Fridays, because there is weekend risk, there is that element to consider as well, right? So when we look at, these conversations about, well, NSE gains, BSE loses, well, I mean, it may not be as simple because should you count Fridays, is it going to be as large? Weekend, risks have gone up quite a bit. The other bit, of course, as people have pointed out, is that most of the algos, etc., have been backtested on Thursdays. So maybe they will need to go back and do that for Tuesday now. So overall volumes drop a little bit. Is that a possibility?
In fact, if you look at it that way, more algorithms would have been backtested for Thursday expiry.
Correct.
Because we are just very nascent. The number of algorithms that need to be backtested for Thursday versus number of algorithms to be backtested for Tuesday in a very new exchange like ours, is our numbers will be fairly low. I don't think the day effect on market works anymore. Algorithms work multiple ways. So it may not be fully correct to say it has to be backtested. Some of them may require a fine tuning.
Okay, got it. Just one more point in terms of your the number, and you always, last time also I spoke to you, you kind of talked about clients, right? Number of clients that you're adding on, especially in the derivative space. Where are you at now? And if you can give us some guidance.
Oh, I can certainly. See, we have around 520, 525 brokers now. We want to increase it to 600 to 700. Our concentration is on foreign participants and brokers and racks and our technological capabilities. On brokers, I told you the numbers. On foreign participants, we have around 290 to 300 foreign participants today participating with us. We want to increase it to at least 500 over a period of time. That's why we try our best to meet people, convince them as to why India is a great destination. And once they get convinced of India, why BSE is a good place for them to look at. And in terms of racks, we want to go and increase by another 200 racks. We are working on it, and very soon we should be able to accomplish it. And in terms of product, we are working towards deepening the products. We don't want only this week volumes. Next week, next to next week, and monthly contracts, which are working well. Our efforts are giving us some results. We are working on also strengthening futures market, which we will double up because now the futures will become monthly. We are doing all these type of efforts to deepen and broaden markets. Honestly, that is what has brought us market share.
Sure. 200 plus, 200 more racks is what you're working on, right? Okay. By when? I mean,
Our idea is by the end of the current financial year, we should try to achieve it. There are a lot of moving parts in all this because there are capex, there are multiple agencies involved. So timeline put us end of this financial year, we should have 200.
I'll just ask you one last question. This is not related to BSE, but since you are also an exchange and a frontline regulator in that sense, I don't know if you saw this recent story. I think it was the Ken which put out the invisible hand in markets. I mean, I think they were referring to this to Jane Street, but there's Jump, there is Citadel, all these players which now account for a large part of the volumes overall. Have you heard or has the regulator, SEBI, sort of, can you tell us if they're looking at, in a way, unusual price swings because of what these entities are doing in the marketplace? Is there anything at all which is going on?
It's not. It's maybe it's a question to a wrong person. You're talking about regulatory intervention. You have to talk to the regulators to find out what they are doing. I'm a very beginner in the derivatives market. Volumes with me in respect of all entities that you talked about are all in very early stages. So
Okay.
right question probably to the right person, not to me.
Okay. But you've not been asked for any data or anything, right, in this regard? I mean, BSE has not been.
First of all, it is not fair on you to ask what regulators ask the regulated. That is between the two. And notwithstanding that, I have not had any inquiries
Okay.
from anybody on this.
Got that. Thank you very much, Mr. Ramamurthy, I had to ask you that, apologies, but had to. Thank you very much for joining us, and it's always a pleasure speaking with you. BSE, the stock, I think, is down about 1.5%, given the amount of noise, I mean, the stock actually is holding on, I would say, very well, just about 35 rupees lower, 2,630 or so. We'll take a quick commercial break here. Hormuz and Vinny will take you through the rest of the program in just a bit after this break.